Is that how it is, huh?
Yeah.
Can't drink with a guy from your own fucking unit.
Congrats on your stripes.
Yeah? Yeah, fuck you. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were dodging court-martial. Can't wait to hear what the guys are gonna say when I tell them who I bumped into. I'm sure someone would love to come pay you a visit.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. Why don't you come back and have a drink with me? Old times.
Hey, Jared, do you want to hear a joke?
Sure, Dan. I love jokes.
So 3 elements walk into a large bar and order 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, okay? First element says, I bet I can drink this faster than you guys, and then he gulps down the entire bottle in 6 seconds flat. Second elephant, not wishing to be outdone, says, I'll take that bet, and immediately gulps the bottle down, and this time he does it in 5 seconds. So the third elephant sees this and asks the barman, is the smoking ban affecting business much? The bartender says, not really. We've had the old heaters outside, so we're doing all right. Things will pick up again in May or so, says the barman. They will, I suppose, says the third elephant.
What?
That's my joke. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't understand that joke at all. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Old Boys Podcast. This is a show where we talk about movies. Can you believe it? I can't. After that joke, I can't believe anything anymore. Oh, Dan, you know what? It sounded like you said elements at first instead of 3 elephants.
Oh.
And
Here,
I was like,
I have a better
3
one.
elements walk
A man
into
walks
bar.
into a bar.
Oh, God, okay.
Alcoholism is crippling his family.
See, I can understand that one at least
Well, the
a
other
little
one was
bit
just
more.
like, it was a non-joke. It's like the third elephant's like, hey, how's business going?
That is pretty great. I like it now. I'm turned around. The reason we're telling silly jokes is because we watched The Outsider.
The outsider.
Dun 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 dun. I don't know why I'm doing that music because that doesn't happen in this film. But this is a Jared Leto executive produced.
It's
and
also
starred
a Jared
film.
pick.
Oh yes, and a Jared pick. So
You picked this film for us to watch.
It's a double Jared original, and I hope you all enjoyed not watching it. No, so before we get into it, I wanted to talk about a film, Dan, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I watched a film that I think needs more attention because I really enjoyed it. It's called My Life as a Zucchini.
What?
Yeah, it's called My Life as a Zucchini. It's on Netflix right now. It is an animated film. It's like stop motion animation, and it's really good. And it's about this little kid and his time spent at a children's home. So basically something happens with his parents, and he's got to go live at this children's home. And it's really cute, and it's super sad and kind of awkward at times, but it's very fun and enjoyable to watch. It's quirky and weird, and I like how the characters look in the animations and stuff. And if you listen to the English version, because I think it's a French movie, the English voice acting is very good. They actually got like a bunch of celebrities to do all the different voices. There you go.
Oh.
And it's really fun. I mean, there's not much else to say unless I spoil what the film is. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think I would. And me and my girlfriend were kind of just flipping through Netflix channels, and we're like, what the hell is My Life as a Zucchini? And I'm like, all right, I'll watch this. Sure. And it turned out to be great. So it was surprising and fun. Dan, your thoughts on zucchinis?
It sounds, well, I hate zucchini for one, but it sounds like that film is pretty interesting. I may give it a watch eventually.
Another fucking zucchini
something about
hater.
gourds. I just, squashes. They're bitter. They're icky.
Is it because your dick is shaped like a gourd?
Yes,
A massive gourd.
a massive gourd.
Speaking of movies,
We had watched a movie.
yeah, The Outsider. Dan, Here's how I like to do the show. I think this is a good flow, is you give me your first impression, then I give my first impression, and then you explain briefly, you give a rundown of what the movie is. Then we jump right in, and we'll just talk about scenes that we want to talk about.
Okay.
All right. I like that. I think it's been working, so we'll do that. So, Dan, please.
Very much enjoyed this movie. It got kind of long at one point, but like...
Did it get 2 hours long?
It did get 2 hours long. It just... That's a pretty damn good joke, actually. I started to feel the length, but it wasn't towards the very end. Like, I was pretty engaged throughout the entire thing, and it just, this film, it doesn't stop, and it's not very action packed at all.
No.
So basically, if you combine all of the amazing, Japanese movies that we love so much with The Godfather, that's this film.
What's the name of the that filmmaker who is an actor and then directed, and he did all those like Japanese gangster movies? I don't fucking remember his name.
Well, okay, so what I like about this film in terms of first impressions is like they really spent a lot of time getting the feel of old Japanese films. I've only seen one Japanese movie that has to do with the prison system, but like Female Prisoner 701 Scorpion, I saw that in here. I saw like The Bad Sleep Well and all the great Kurosawa Yakuza films. Mm-hmm. It was so well done, and it was set in 1954, and they just really captured that essence of what it means to be that kind of film, which was really cool.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, the guy I was trying to remember is Takashi Kitano.
Oh, Takashi Kitano. Yeah. Okay.
Takashi Kitano. Yeah. Because he's kind of done a few gangster films that I really enjoy.
Yeah, Outrage and Beyond Outrage and Son of Teen.
And like that was the level of like what I thought this film was going to be like, but like, hey, with samurai swords. Mm-hmm. But the real payoff for that samurai sword does not happen to the very end. It's a good payoff.
Oh, it's a fantastic payoff.
What?
Yes.
My first impressions, I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely long.
Is it a 2018 movie?
Yeah, it's a newer film. I don't know if it's 2018. But it's definitely a newer film.
Best movie I've seen this year, I think.
Oh, yes. 2018 it is.
Yeah, best movie so far this year that came out for me.
It is very slowly paced.
But that didn't bother me.
It's not even about the action, really.
Yeah, it's not about the action. But whenever the action comes, it's action. Another first impression, Jared Leto is the perfect person to cast in this role. It was so well cast, I think. Because he's not imposing at all, but whenever he does his imposing shit, I'm like, oh, that's horrifying.
He's got a weird, like, chiseled baby face.
He's got a chiseled baby face, and whenever you see him do something completely violent and unrealistic for him, you're like, oh, I can see him doing that.
Yeah. He's like a bizarre alien man. And it's even more weird when he's in, like, a foreign country trying to learn the customs of Yakuza, because he's just like, he's from another world. I don't understand him. Some problems I had with this movie, it was pretty obvious what was happening and what was going to happen, really. Like, you knew who the villain was, and you kind of like knew he was going to betray everyone. But like, even if you did know, I guess it doesn't hurt your enjoyment.
It didn't hurt it for me.
It's kind of like, I'm already like a few steps ahead of this film. And I guess that wasn't the point, but I think it would have helped a little bit more to stay engaged with the film. That being said, these 2 hours kind of flew by pretty fast.
They did.
Like, I wasn't incredibly bored while I was watching it.
I wasn't, because to me, it felt like The Godfather.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what it was. Like, even that one thing where they start killing that other gang. Like, that whole scene is like the church scene from The Godfather, or the baptism scene. So that's what it reminded me of. So, I guess a little rundown of this plot. Dude bro, Jared Leto, Gaijin, the outsider. Gaijin. He's in prison. It's America has occupied Japan. We're in Osaka in 1954. So he has wound up in prison. You learn later that he kind of faked his own death to get out of the military or something like that. And he saves this guy on the inside who's a Yakuza who's like been hung by his fellow cellmates. And then the guy who's saved, he's like, hey, I got a way to get out of here. If they take me to the hospital. If I commit suicide or if I try to commit suicide, they'll take me to the hospital. Then my family are going to come out, and then I'll tell them that you should get out too because you saved me. So they do that. And then whenever Jared Leto's out with Tadanobu Asano is the guy who plays opposite him, Kyoshi, essentially he is requested to do a job for the Yakuza or the family that Kyoshi is part of. And then
they're like, hey, you're white. Can you talk to white people? And he's like, sure can.
Oh, and that talk was the best.
That talk was the definitely best. Know how to talk to white people.
Anyway, so he's like, he's like, you can talk to white people for us. But then after that job, Kyoshi likes him, so he keeps him around, and he keeps he's essentially the brawn of just the big imposing white guy of this Yakuza family. It goes on, and then there's a little love triangle with Kyoshi's sister, which I don't know. I was expecting more out of that. But
yeah, that could have been way better. Yeah. I was like, well, okay, this character's getting interesting. And then we're kind of like, let's forget about it.
Lots and lots and lots of violence. And I loved every minute of it. Because, it was just, you have all these, really, really spacious things of dialogue. And it was well written. And it was paced slowly. But as soon as it goes to that violence, it's like, oh, did you think it was going to be somewhat violent? No, sorry. It's super, super, I'm going to stab you in the neck violent. After you get punched in the throat, by the way. And that's basically, it's just, they end up warring with another family of the Yakuza. That's what it is.
A classic tale. A tale as old as time, Dan.
Meow, 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 meow,
meow, meow. So, there's a lot of stuff I enjoyed, but there's some goofy shit in this movie where I'm kind of like, why did they do these things? But I've been trying to think about this lately of when I'm watching a film, I shouldn't insert my intentions for where I think the film should go and try to, I need to try to figure out if the film accomplished whatever it was set out to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because just because a film didn't do what I wanted it to do doesn't mean that the film is bad.
I guess.
The film should have done this. But also, does it make sense, I guess, for these characters to do this in this way? And can I understand that, I guess? Because sometimes it's almost like logic in films don't make sense or people aren't doing things that I think would be correct. But that's just from my point of view.
Right.
So I don't know if I should judge a film based on that. Because there's some scenes later on that I will talk about right now. Because I can do whatever I want. That I kind of confuse me a bit.
What's E.T. short for?
Extraterrestrial.
Because he has short legs.
Oh. So anyways, there's a scene where all of the Yakuza boys, they get a little message from a little kid, and the kid's running up these stairs. And it's kind of a cool scene where the camera follows him, and I'm always wondering, how did that fucking camera follow him up those stairs and we didn't hear the camera guy? What are they doing? How are they doing that shit? It's so cool. And he gets up there and he's like, hey, the rival gang leader wants to meet in the docks at neutral territory. And he's like, don't bring any weapons. And we're definitely going to have peace talks. Wink, 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 winky face. I'm winking a lot. Okay. And then they're just like, yeah, sure, let's do that. And I'm thinking in my head, this mob boss has already been, there's already been an attempted assassination on his life, right?
But
this has happened.
They're neutral grounds at the docks. That's why.
Oh, gosh. They're not 5 years old, though, and the floor is lava and you can't touch it.
Well, they sent a kid, so I would be confused, too.
Why did they all show up? They showed up in 2 cars all together on the exact time they said to show up. And they get fucking ambushed by the bad guys, of course. And they even have a sniper. They have everything. And then, what's worse is the villain is like, hey, guys, we killed your boss, because they kill him there. They stab him to death. The traitor guy, which is, I don't know, gray suit. I never learned his name, but he's always in a gray suit. Everyone's in a black suit. And gray suit's like, hey, we're holding you all at gunpoint. Either join our clan or you die, I guess. So they're all like, no. And then instead of killing them, he goes, you've all made a terrible mistake. And then all the bad guys leave. They just leave them there. The entire gang. They leave them to just be totally fine. When they're trying to do a coup and take over the whole gang Wouldn't they kill all of these fuckers? Because they're going to try to kill them later.
Well, I mean, they shot one of them who was charging, and then they shot Jared Leto in the leg, so he couldn't move because he's like the one who would have, done some damage.
But they just kill them all. I don't like if you're already going to betray your entire gang and do all this crazy shit and murder people that are supposed to be your brothers. Why stop at killing the rest of them? I don't get it. It didn't make any sense to me. And now is that something I should use that is like negatively towards the film? Like, this is stupid. So it's hurting my enjoyment.
I didn't think that was stupid. I took it as they didn't necessarily want to shed as much blood as they needed to. And like the whole deal had been, you can live so long as you don't start another gang, because if you start another gang, we're going to kill you. Like that was said in dialogue somewhere. It may have been like a one-off. So
like once the actual real war started and they attempted the life of the lead Yakuza member who's on the good guy's side, I guess, Jared Leto's side, they proceed to have a murder montage of them killing all of the other gang members.
Right.
The rival gang members. They killed like 6 or 7 of them. So you would think that would be probable cause for them to just wipe them out so they like no one else would die anymore. It was just weird. Like they're in a war mentality. Like it's either us or them, and then all of a sudden
no, because the war mentality is if you take out the leader, then like all the other people fall back. Or at least that's one war mentality.
I don't know, man. If this was like an actual army or something, I don't know. I just feel like if you get revenge on somebody, usually they're like, okay, well, I'm going to get fucking revenge on you. Like, I can't think of many people who would just give up on that and be like, okay, yeah, you're right. No more gang. You know what? The thing I dedicated my entire life to, I'm just going to take a pass on that. And I'll let you guys run the show from now on.
And
whenever I see you, I'll just be like, hey,
sometimes people
got
to retire, man. That's what it is. Certain death or retirement.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's dumb to even let them have the choice of getting revenge again.
I thought, okay, wait a minute. Did you not preface this entire conversation by saying, I've been trying to be better lately about not judging movies?
No, I'm trying to ask you, Dan, is this a valid criticism? Does this make sense?
It didn't bother me. That was not something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Because what I took was that essentially half of that family had defected to the other family. So it was a lost cause for all the loyal people because there was just a handful of them. So he just figured that, like, if you're not going to join me, then you're fucked. You can't do anything. So if you start to do something, I'm going to kill you then.
Hey guys, this is Jared. Doing some editing on this episode and listening back to it, I now definitely agree with Dan and his point of view on how the film was going, because these guys are more like samurais and it's old school with honor and respect, and the Yakuza, they don't want to just kill everybody or whatever, get revenge on everyone. They just want to take care of whatever the problem is. As far as I understand Yakuza, so they have a weird honor system. And I think even though they broke some of their rules, they still would rather not have everyone die. So that makes sense. Okay, back to the show. Bye.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if that's the only thing that you're hung up on, then do you like the rest of the film, though? I feel like it had a lot of redeeming qualities to it anyway.
Yeah.
Then I don't know what we're complaining about.
Maybe I just don't know enough about Yakuza. That could be it.
Maybe that's exactly what it is.
Was there any specific thing you wanted to talk about?
Depending upon the father figure or the leader of the group, violators will be quickly expelled. The code here forbids the use or selling of drugs, theft, robbery, indecent acts, and anything else that would be considered shameful under the chivalrous humanitarian way.
Wow, I didn't know that. They gamble, though, right?
Yeah, they gamble all the time. I think Yakuza just move money, basically. Yeah, so they're into blackmail. That's their big thing. So they kind of operate off of maybe they're a little bit more tame than the Bushido, where it's like, samurai could kind of kill anybody. Codes which made them appear to be an effective deterrent against street crime, robbery, muggings, theft, sexual assault. So yeah, they don't do that. They kind of beat up the people who do that.
Weird.
But each group has its own code of ethics. So like This is me doing preliminary research on the Yakuza.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
if you take it to where each group has a different code of ethics, like the guy who dies in the film, they try to kill me, so I'm gonna fucking wage war. But then after he died, that was the primary goal to begin with before the war even started. So as soon as he did die, there was no reason to have the war anymore because he was the one that started waging it.
Yes, and as soon as Jared Leto got revenge off of the dude,
And then
who
it was
betrayed them,
that was all they needed to
over.
do. Yeah.
And the rival Yakuza leader was like, yeah, you can leave. He's like, get out of here. Well, okay, I guess we can get into this movie a little bit now. Okay. So we got Leto, who is Nick, and
let's have a little discussion about Jared Leto's makeup at the beginning of the film. Do you prefer him with long hair and a beard, or the 1950s suave man?
I'm gonna have to say both are intensely creepy. So like. I've been listening to a podcast all about Rasputin and how among many weird things about the guy.
I wrote my senior paper on Rasputin. I know a lot about him.
Cool.
Yes.
So like how he has that weird like death stare, or he's like his eyes are just really big and he's got the eyeshadow and like he just stares into your soul. That's what happens with Jared Leto and me. Like
oh yeah, for sure.
he's weird looking.
He was a womanizer.
Yeah.
He apparently had a 13-inch penis.
He can enter your brain with his 13-inch cock.
That is in a jar of formaldehyde in Russia somewhere still. They killed him 3 times.
Yeah, they tried to kill him 3 times, yeah.
No, he like legit died.
Wait, are you
times.
describing Jared Leto or are you describing Rasputin?
Well, Jared Leto, of course. No, the best part about it is like they poisoned him, it didn't work. They shot him, and he jumped into the river. He stabbed, then they shot him, he jumped into the river, and he died with water in his lungs, meaning after he was shot, stabbed, and poisoned, he still was breathing underwater.
That's pretty gangster.
Just wouldn't die.
Yeah. But yeah, there's something, he's got a weird stare to him, I guess, is what I was trying to say.
I don't care.
Okay, anyways, he's in prison, right? I like how they don't explain it. We don't really get to find out why he was there.
Well, yeah, like you're just kind of like you're thrown into this narrative, and it doesn't really matter. I don't.
And that's good. Yeah. Like Dan said, he saves that dude. He saves him from being hung, and then immediately after, he gets thrown in solitary.
There's a dog pooping outside my window.
Oh, that's fun. Can you give a play-by-play of what the dog is doing?
Yeah, 4 droplets so far, going on 5, 6. All right, it's pinching it off 6. 6 is good.
Okay. Now, is he turning around to eat it?
Nobody's doing a really funny walk like he didn't get it all out.
Aww.
And his owner is not picking up with a bag.
You think his little tiny doggy butthole is on fire?
Maybe. I know that I'm going to probably have to walk through that because she didn't fucking pick it up. Fucking bitch.
You want to go Yakuza that bitch? No, actually, we'd have to Yakuza the dog and then leave the lady alive because that's the Yakuza way. And just say, don't get revenge on me. So he almost gets hung, and then Leto gets thrown into solitary confinement.
Right.
And from how I understand how solitary confinement works, Dan, is it's solitary.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Is that would you say that's the main thing about solitary confinement?
I think that typically is what happens in solitary confinement is you are solitarily in this confinement.
So if let's say you were in a solitary confinement, Dan, and let's say they threw me in there.
Right.
What is it called now?
It would not be called solitary confinement anymore.
It's just the confinement, I think.
Yes.
So they throw some asshole or the guy who got hung into Leto's solitary confinement, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I thought they were trying to set him up for something, but no, he's just in there with him. I don't know. Sure. And then he's like, I'm gonna commit seppuku right now, or whatever it's called, where he stabs himself in the stomach with a shiv, and he's like, I'm gonna try to kill myself, and you just hold my guts in until the police come, so I don't fucking die. And then he tells him, okay, eventually I'm gonna try to get you out. He's like, I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'm gonna get out. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Sorry.
What was that?
My alarm.
Here's my thing. Were you at all concerned? Because even though you knew that guy was the main character because it was Tadanobu Asano,
Yeah.
Were
He
you
was
not
bleeding pretty
concerned
good.
that he was going to die?
Yeah, I thought he was going to die.
The
I was
guard
like, this
just
is
never
fucking
came.
insane. Yeah, he's been yelling
And
forever.
Jared Leto's like, well, shit.
But that was a cool scene. I enjoyed it. And then once he got out, they don't even show how he escapes the hospital. But what I was thinking too is, I thought they were gonna like get him out early, but it just seemed like he served his sentence, whatever his sentence was, and they just came and picked him up, which is like, oh, okay, I guess. But his first job. Dan, I want you to tell me about this first job by the Yakuza. They're like, we want you to go talk to this American guy.
So, God, what is that guy's name? It's like
It doesn't
Rory
matter
something.
what the dude's name is, I guess.
Well, I'm saying like the actor's name because
I forget.
he plays
He was great.
Speed in CSI Miami. He was in a Scanner Darkly, and then
what a
one
pedigree.
movie about Dazed and Confused. He has this distinct look. Anyway,
Matthew McConaughey?
no, not that one. The other one.
Matthew McConaughey's shirt?
No.
The shirt that he throws down on the ground?
Jared Leto goes to this docking area. Essentially, what happens is
Neutral ground.
this dude he's running a company in which he's scrapping metal
Yes.
that was made by the Japanese and selling it back to the Japanese for like double the price.
Yeah. He's scrapping their
Yeah.
their old war tanks and shit.
And his attitude is like, they lost the war. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Mm-hmm.
And he's being a really big fat pig racist. And then Jared Leto is just kind of sitting there, with his neutral expression, almost in a smirk, just taking in whatever he says.
We won. Now, what's the point of winning a war if now you gotta worry about stepping on Japs' toes?
I wouldn't call them Japs.
Okay. So you're one of those.
One of what?
I got a deal with the United States Army. Your fucking country gives me metal at 2 cents a cubic yard. Do you know where they get this metal from? Any idea? They get it from breaking down war machines that these fucking nits built to sneak attack us. So excuse me if they gotta buy it back from me cheap. Now, I don't know if you're banging some slanty-eyed broad and you're getting all goked out and sympathetic, but that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. And now you can get the fuck out of my office.
As soon as he's like, so you're not going to pay then? He's like, hell no, I'm not going to pay. Get the hell out of here. And then Jared Leto takes a full, gigantic, heavy-ass typewriter.
Yeah,
and
this
then
thing's heavy as shit.
wails on this guy, like the back of this guy's skull, like
He's got a
4
two-handed.
times. Two hands it, just wails on this guy's skull 4 times, and it gets all fucking bloody. Just blood flies all over him. He's just wearing like a really tight white shirt like an undershirt.
He
that
loves
he's wearing.
those white shirts.
Yeah, he loves them. So he's just showered in blood, and then he comes out, and then Kiyoshi's like, he's bloody.
Yeah.
And then he's like, did you kill him? He's like, he'll live. I'm like,
He'll
no,
live?
He's not gonna live.
He'll live?
He most certainly died. He's
He
dead.
crushed his fucking skull in.
Yes.
There's no way he could make that determination of he'll live. That's fucking crazy.
But he is Jared Leto.
Maybe if you hit him once.
Is it Leto or Leto?
It's whatever you want it to be. It's the choose your own adventure of last names. I like to say Leto when I'm feeling frisky. But yeah, I enjoyed the white boy typewriter scene. I liked it. I
Yes,
liked it.
White Boy Typewriter Singing is probably
He smashed him good.
one of the best scenes in the movie. For sure. Like anytime that the violence happens, I'm like, oh,
The violence was good. You're right. And you know what? It was just quick. It was kind of like, oh shit, the violence, and then it was gone. You're like, oh no.
yeah.
I
But
guess
I
that
like
wasn't
that.
a bad thing. This isn't trying to be like a John Woo film with like over stylized, let's do gun kata and shit or something. What I liked is how they showed that time has passed, is that Leto's shirt is all bloody, and then the next scene he's in a new white shirt. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I guess he got his shirt clean. I guess he got a new shirt.
Well, I mean, he could just have another shirt. Those shirts come in like 5-packs, you know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's got the 5-pack of shirts. He's like, I hope this takes me through the rest of the movie here.
Well, it would.
But yeah, it probably would. So he goes back to his shitty little apartment that the Yakuza gave him, and he's a weird prison boy, so he like throws his bed on the floor and just starts crying. And I wasn't sure if this was just normal Jared Leto activity or if this is some kind of character thing with this guy, because he seems very like emotionally shut off.
Right.
Like already, even before he joins the Yakuza, he already feels like he's like this robot Yakuza guy who's like, all right, this is what I understand. And it made me think, like, is that how he was when he was in the military? Because it is revealed later on that he was a captain, I guess, in the United States military.
Here's a question.
Okay.
How did you like the extended tattoo getting scenes?
They didn't bother me. I kind of enjoyed it.
They didn't bother me either. I was just question. Seemed like something that may bother you.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what, Dan? The more I talk about this film, I think you're actually convincing me that it is a really great film.
I really liked it. Like, it's so far best movie I've seen all year. But it's April, so
I did enjoy this movie. Like, it was just those like few weird things at the end that were like, why did we do this? So yeah, he does that job, and then his buddy's like, hey, you know what? We got you a new apartment. You did a good job. He's like, yay, I did a good job. And then, trying to think, I guess he meets that girl and he walks her home. It's like everyone knows what's going to happen here.
yeah.
The attractive white American is meeting this guy's sister who's super hot. And you're like, oh yeah, this will just end with him walking him home. Sure.
And then as soon as he does it, you're like, why? He has no shame at all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She's like, hey, do you want to come in? He's like, yeah, I do. He doesn't think about it at all.
No, he doesn't. It's pretty great.
After he saved this guy in prison, and this guy's like,
he's like,
just
"Now I'm
likes
gonna
him, he
fuck your
wants to keep
sister."
him around.
Yeah, I thought maybe like he could at least ask him, but that would kind of be.
But then whenever like he learns about it, he doesn't get angry.
Yeah.
He just gets relatively concerned.
He just drinks more. People replace their anger with drinking.
This is a good practice.
This is a good practice. So the gray suit guy starts to see this, and he's already not liking Leto, the gaijin. And I liked how he was all jelly, because at first you just thought, oh, he didn't like this guy because he's replacing him as the best friend of Kiyoshi or whatever. But it's really because he's fucking jelly, and he wants to get with that girl again, because I guess they had a thing. And there's like an almost attempted rape scene, which was fucking crazy. But I kind of like how this scene resolved, because he sees himself in the mirror and kind of is like, whoa, this is fucking fucked up. Because he's like super hammered, and he stops himself. I mean, he's still like a piece of shit.
And like that outlines like the code of the Yakuza, where he's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
I should not be doing this. But yeah, I liked how it gave him a lot more depth in terms of just a character. He's not like an outright evil villain. And I guess that makes more sense later on as to why he wouldn't want to kill the people that he grew up for most of his life with. He just wants the gang to change.
It all came down to that, you know, that one other gang, the father of that gang just came into an awesome business proposition that are going to make them a lot of money. And everybody's like, we should totally take this deal because we're going to be left out in the future. And then just old Smokey's like, hell no,
bro.
this is my
Smokey.
thing. My traditional ways, I need them.
Yes, and you know that's making all of this is making way more sense now.
This is me. This is my way. I'm all covered in cheese. Wait, no, it's snow.
I was like, what reference are you trying to make? I don't
I'm
get
like,
it.
wait, on top of Old Smoky. Oh, wait, no, it's on top of spaghetti.
Smoky. Yeah, I'm covered in cheese. I'll take it.
All covered in snow. He lost his poor lover. Something.
At the rodeo?
No. At the radio.
Are you proud of yourself?
No. Can we go on?
Dan?
I'm sorry.
Are you proud of yourself?
No.
Dan, give me another joke.
Okay, let's get another joke. How does Hitler tie his little shoesies?
How does Hitler tie his little shoesies?
With little Nazis.
Okay, get out of here. Oh, man. So, the second job he does. Do you want to talk about that?
Wait, no. There's something that happens prior to that. There is something. So they're all at the bar, and the rival gang comes up to the gang that Jared Leto's part of, and I forgot what they like. That gang's,
They're just giving him shit.
Rabid dog. He just starts giving them shit, Jared Leto's just like kind of watching the people take it. He's like, no. And then he stands up, grabs a wine bottle, and just smacks this guy over the face with it.
Well, the dude calls him a
was
white kitty cat. He's
awesome.
like, "You're a little white kitty cat,"
Oh.
and he's like, "You're gonna have a bottle smashed in your face."
It was amazing.
It was pretty great.
Oh, I don't know if you caught this, but the guy who betrays the gang that Jared Leto wants to kill at the end, his name is Orochi, which means serpent.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's
so it's
fun.
like you already fucking know. In addition to him, you know, being
the
a
most
dick.
obvious betrayer. I wrote his name down as betrayer, and I wrote betrayer's gonna betray because that's what betrayers do.
Orochi's gonna betray. Anyway, so that scene happens and it's fucking awesome. I can't just not say that that guy gets his ass handed to him in the form of a wine bottle, but he totally does. So that same guy he's at the docks and Jared Leto's there to, you know, get the munitions from him or something. I don't remember. Or take them. I don't remember.
He was gonna slide in and do this deal with, I don't know, the military or something before the rival gang did, but I guess the deal had gone bad and the rival gang was already there. And they're like, "You should not be here, motherfucker." And they're gonna kill him.
Yes.
And in the slowest action scene, like this was silly because I even rewound it and watched it again because I'm like, wait, I need to see how this. So they make him get on his knees. There's 3 guys and Jared Leto, main character status. All right. And he very slowly reaches his hand and grabs the gun and turns it around and shoots with perfect fucking accuracy. Shoots 2 of these fuckers in the head before they can pull their guns out.
A lot of head shooting in this film.
Some say it's a fetish.
At least 4, 5, somewhere around there. It's crazy.
But it was cool, but it was just like, wow, why did you do
it's
that
not
so
as
slowly?
slow as it's not as slow as you're making it out to be.
I think it is, dude.
I have to go back and watch it then. I don't think it is.
But I liked the whole move. I thought it was cool. So he kills those 2 dudes. He decides to not kill anymore. Takes the money, brings it to his boss. But the way they cut it is like he's holding the gun on them, and then it abruptly cuts to the Yakuza gang leader. It's the first time we even meet him. And he's just got like this older man with like this frowny face. He's just always frowning like, At first I was like, well, that was abrupt. And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I like this. This is kind of cool. Because it goes like right to the consequences of what he did.
Yes.
And then the finger cutting scene.
So that was foreshadowed earlier
Holy shit.
where they were talking about it.
Yeah.
So Orochi, Leto or Nick notices that Orochi has 2 fingers missing. And we find out why. So basically, because Leto, he went south on a deal, and I guess because he killed 2 people, he has to cut off 2 of the tips of his fingers.
On the same hand.
On the same
Not even tips.
hand.
I'm like right to the 3rd joint. It's
By
fucking out of control.
himself. So this knife is super sharp because it doesn't take that much force to go through.
No.
It's just like shunk.
And they show it.
And they show it, and it's really well done in terms of special effects.
It was fucked up.
And he doesn't scream that much.
No, he doesn't scream at all. He's a robot man. That's why I was like, holy shit. What kind of stuff could Nick's character have gone through in the military for him to just be stone-faced?
Well, Kiyoshi was even more stoic. But Jared Leto, like, he showed it on his face where it's like his vein was bulging out. But then Kiyoshi just walks up, he's like, eh.
Yeah, like he was cutting sausage and getting ready to eat it. It was out of control. And then I love how they have the little fabric and they lay it on the fabric, and then the bomb boss is like, okay, and he just folds it over so he doesn't have to look at it anymore. It's like, all right, we'll cover that up.
And then they offer it to the other gang as
that was
a
fucking rad.
condolence.
That is so cool.
Yes.
I like that a lot. Yeah, you know what it is, Dan? I think is that my idea of villains, like if someone's like in a film, like this is the rival gang. So then I think, oh, they have to be 100% evil, and they're going to do anything they can to hurt the main characters because they're the good, righteous characters or whatever. But it's not like that. This is all very gray, and they're operating by their own weird set of rules. So even in their minds, I think them killing this, like, a rival leader and leaving everyone else alive makes sense to them.
Well, now, another thing, too, remember that this is set in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So, like, modern day Yakuza may be, a little bit more, conniving, but, like, this is Japan is occupied by America.
Almost like samurais, really, now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're occupied by America, so like they
samurais.
need to have as many allies as they can possibly have. So there's multiple different families, and they all respect each other. They just operate and they control different domains.
So yeah, that was fucking fucked up. Finger cutting scene. It was weird because like the first finger gets cut off, and I'm like, okay. The second finger, I'm like, oh shit. And the third finger, I'm like, God damn it. How many fingers are going to get cut off?
Well, it was like that one fucking weird movie that I hated. 4 Rooms.
Oh, God. I'm trying to think what else happens that would be relevant to talk about as we wrap up.
He gets found by one of his battalion.
Oh, okay, yeah. Talk about this.
I don't remember. They were all walking out. There was like a big
like
exodus.
Really badassly. They're just like
yeah, they're walking away, and then they're going through this like little market area, and this guy who's eating, this American, is he in his blues? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's in his service dress.
Yeah,
he's
so
like, Nick Nickerson, is that you, Nick Nickerson, the whitest man I've ever met,
standing out like a sore thumb with your baby blue eyes.
Oh yeah.
So he gets found out, and he's like, "You're looking pretty good for a dead man." I'm like, "Uh-oh." And then he just seems like a fun-loving dude, so I'm like, all right, this is okay. He's like, "What, you don't got 5 minutes to spend with your family?" He's like, I guess I should. Like, he feels weird about it. He's about to abandon him.
Well...
And then as soon as he's like, "So, why don't you, like, show me back to your place?" And he's like, "No, thanks. I'm sorry. I gotta go." And he's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just tell everybody that you're still alive and deserted the army." He's like,
I'm grinning from ear to ear right now.
I see. I guess I'll take you back to my place.
Yeah, so this part, what the fuck?
And then as soon as he said, "Okay, I'll take you back to my place," I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen, but I don't know how it's going to work.
But why would this military guy just be like, well, I'm going to fucking blackmail you if you don't hang out with me? And then suddenly his buddy's like, oh, I guess, I think I do want to hang out with you. Oh, wow, I think we're best friends now. Wouldn't he think that's a little fucking weird? Dan. I'm like yelling at Dan like he did this to me.
I don't think it was that weird.
This keeps happening throughout the film now that I think about it, but I still enjoyed it. Like, even though I knew, like, this was kind of stupid. But I'm like, yay, he's going to go there and get killed. This is fun. I don't know. There's a lot of that in this movie that I've been trying to justify for an hour.
Well, because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that guy's going to get murdered. But I'm like, how is he going to get away with murdering like what's that word? Oh, shit. Why can't I think of decorated? There we go. A decorated person.
Veteran. Yeah. They're a dime a dozen. Just throw them in the trash. It's fine. Yeah, sleeping with the fishes, that guy. But yeah, so he's like, oh, in the most obvious way, he's like, do you like beer? He's like, I love beer. And they drink a beer. And he goes, do you like whiskey?
Speaking of fishes, you know that old adage, there's plenty of other fish in the sea?
Sure, yeah.
We're reading a Greek play, a Greek tragedy with my high school kids. It's, Oedipus, the story of Oedipus.
I don't know.
The last part of this play is called Antigone, and we're reading that, and there's this really funny line in there where it's like, you're going to kill your own son's fiance because, she broke the law. He's like, yeah, I'm totally going to do that. His response to that is, there's plenty of other fields my son can plow, and I lost my shit in the middle of class.
Holy shit. That just turned me into a talking horse. Wilbur. Ooh.
Exactly. Just saying plow in that sentence is just
really?
So ridiculous.
Damn, that is hardcore. That's like Yakuza hardcore, my friend.
Yes.
That's let me get you some whiskey.
And I said that to 10th graders. Like I read it out loud because it was my line because I was reading for that part. And I couldn't stop laughing.
Like if I was in the Yakuza and someone said that to me, I would have to drink a whole glass of whiskey.
Yes.
To show my anger.
Yes. Of course. To show my anger, yes. Anyway, he takes the guy back. He wines and dines him. He's like, oh, you got American stuff? He's like, yeah, I got American stuff. I got my sources. You like whiskey? He's like, okay, I'll give you some whiskey. And he goes behind him, and guess what?
I'm sorry. What?
Guess what, Jared?
He kills him good.
He kills him good.
But it was funny because, like, the dude is just sitting there, like, facing forward, not turning around to look at him to watch what he's doing. He's so trusting. How could a fucker be so trusting after threatening someone to basically have them thrown in jail for treason? He threatened this guy. I'm trying to think about his motivation about like, he's like, I'm so lonely. I don't have any friends. I'll fucking blackmail anybody to make them my friend. I'll fucking do whatever it takes. I'll fucking kill you. You better hang out with me. Oh, you will? Oh, cool, dude. Oh, do you like whiskey? Oh, I love whiskey. Oh, we best friends. Are we gonna do karate in the garage? You fucking idiot. You're dead now. Oh, it's so good.
So he goes and
love
he
it.
he asks Kiyoshi to help bury that dude. And then the last thing we would need to talk about is the payoff of the samurai sword, because we haven't paid that off yet.
Very quickly, he tells him during that scene where he's like, hey, I need you to help me with this body. He also tells him he's still been boning his sister. And how he deals with it, Dan, is he sits down and they both drink a bunch of vodka or probably soju or whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember. What
Sake.
Sake, god damn it. Oh, I'm so white. I'm sorry. He drinks a shit ton of sake to cope. And then he gives him these samurai swords. And he's like, my dad gave them to me when he left to protect my little sister. He's like, now you're going to protect her. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, oh, he's going to, it's like Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
This is Kiyoshi's swords. They're going to be used. When you see Kiyoshi's swords, they will be used. So Dan, please tell us the final moments.
Well, there's this scene in the middle of the film where Jared
Sure.
Leto has to go through the process of becoming a Yakuza.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. But whenever he decides to take revenge, he goes up to that where they would be meeting, and then he sees Orochi is going through the same exact process.
Yeah.
And then all the people are like, they all stand up and grab him and like hold him at gunpoint because he just walks
he just
into
walks
enemy
right
territory.
in, man. He didn't give a fuck. I thought he was going to do like a, Bruce Willis Pulp Fiction, you know, like going to kill the Gimp or something and just start samurai swording everyone like a Kill Bill movie. But no, that's not that type of, this is not that type of film.
No, he gets overwhelmed.
Yes.
And then he makes his case. He's like, why can't you just let me kill that dog like the dog he is? Because, you know, he betrayed us. He doesn't say this, but I felt like the underlining logic was he betrayed us. What makes you think he's not going to betray you?
Yes, and he challenges him to a straight-up samurai duel, which was like, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, let's go.
And then Orochi, he's like, you know what? No, because you're an idiot. You're not Japanese. I'm not going to fight you because it's below me.
Yeah.
And then Cheerleader just unsheaths the sword and decapitates him in one fell swoop.
Really fucking fast. Yeah.
And then he walks out and he's like, let him go. Like the guy says, let him go. And then as he's walking out, did you notice that the fucking kid that they used as a messenger before is just kind of standing there looking at what just happened?
Yeah. He's like, oh shit. But that was sick, man. He comes in there limping and shit with his fucking samurai sword being all sneaky. And you think there's going to be a big duel. And he's like, nah, I'm just going to fucking slice this motherfucker.
Well, because the guy refused to do it. He's like, I'm not going to fight you. You're not worth it.
Yeah. No storming the castle. It's just get revenge on the guy who betrayed the clan. Oh, okay. Well, how about this? End of the movie, right? He goes up to his where his wife's been hiding, and all the gang members are there protecting her. And then they all kind of just like bow to him like he's the new boss. Did it feel like he just became the new boss at the end of the film?
I mean, it did, but I don't think it was supposed to feel that way.
I hope not, because what the fuck? Why would he just become the new boss? I mean, after what he did, that was pretty fucking cool, but...
Well, I mean,
that felt,
see, the issue is, like, because we've
self-indulgent.
seen so many films that end like that, it felt like that, but I think that the bowing was just a... You know, thank you for, you know, setting things right. We don't have a place to go, but at least, you know, the traitor, you know, we have...
Yeah.
Some form of vengeance for our father who died.
Yes, like somebody else should be the new boss or something. So, okay, final thoughts. I feel like I enjoyed this movie. It was very well done in many respects. There are some goofy shit, like I said, but it's very easy to overlook them. And a lot of it, just talking with you, Dan, is the film had subverted my expectations on how I thought the film should be. And that should be a good thing and not a bad thing.
Right.
There are certain things like that dumb US guy that just makes me laugh. But hey, maybe he is that fucking stupid. I don't know. And it only serviced my enjoyment, really, of him being dumb for us to get to see him get killed later on.
Yeah.
So why am I complaining? You know, I slapped myself. I will commit seppuku now. Dan, I'd like you to be my second.
Oh, I will be your second and third.
Take your internet katana. Whoa, what does the third do? Oh boy. So what did you think, Dan?
Like I said, best movie of the year so far, but you know,
Damn.
the year's early for me. I like the pacing of it a lot, and I like the bouts of just insane violence. That's what really kept my attention.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun movie. I enjoyed it. So, I believe it's your turn to assign.
Yes,
film,
it had been requested to us by the Twitter account page of a film that we review. And
How long could Dan make this sentence?
here's the deal.
In conclusion,
Whoever runs the Twitter page for a film called Dark Forest asked us, they're like, we would love for Old Boys Podcast to review the film. That tells me that they don't listen to our show. Or maybe listen to it whenever we did the Baby Boys, which we may bring back eventually. But like, because I'm going to assign this film as a regular film, no holds barred. I mean, I'm going to give it a fair shake for sure. But, you know, whenever I get in the room with Jared, I feel like, you know, my inhibitions get a little bit loose.
We're
very
Nancy's.
negative. So,
I mean, I took this Outsider movie that's pretty fucking great, and I'm like, I don't like it. Blah, blah, blah. So who knows?
So
what
now let's watch an
film.
indie horror film, see how well that goes over. So this film is called Dark Forest. It has a rating of 3.5 stars on Amazon Prime, where we're going to be
Amazon
watching it.
Prime.
Yeah. So a weekend camping trip turns into a fight for survival. That's all they say.
Okay.
3.5 stars out of 139 ratings. We have 5.1 on IMDb. Let's see what it is on.
I want to know Rotten
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, because Rotten Tomatoes is where at least I can see other critics, and I don't consider us real critics. When I say we're critics, that's more of a joke.
I'm a real critic. I don't know what
I
you're
think
talking
Dan,
about.
if anything, is more of a critic than either.
No
of us.
score yet. Wait, audience score 75% liked it,
Whoa, that's good.
but that's out of 13. So
Okay.
I'm going to say
Well,
it's
people-
going to be middle of the road.
Yeah.
So Dark Forest.
I will say, should we talk about how we watched the trailer?
The trailer leaves nothing to be desired in terms of who the killer is.
Yeah, the trailer immediately spoils who the killer is, but there is some
But-
pretty sweet knife deflection.
I feel like we can get through it even. Like I don't think the trailer's. I'm hoping the trailer's not letting on as much as there should be. You know.
Like if there's a secret. It's like
Yeah,
a weird,
maybe.
oh no, I can't believe
Maybe.
it. Reversal. Yeah.
So we're coming at you. It's not even. It's 75 minutes long. An hour and 15 minutes. That's like shorter.
Hey,
than
you know
normal.
what? Compared to the fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll take it.
last film. I'll take it. I will take it. So I hope this is something, guys. Please find us wherever you can find us. oldboys_podcast. I don't know. I mean, that's Twitter.
Oldboyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're on
At Old Boys
Gmail.
Podcast on Instagram. We
all
on
that
SoundCloud. We getting them numbers from the world. Like people in Bulgaria just randomly listen to us on SoundCloud. Or not
What?
SoundCloud, Spotify. It's
Really? On
hilarious.
Spotify?
Yeah, like we'll just get random plays from all over the world on Spotify. I don't know if they're going to
Probably-
listen to the whole thing, but as soon as like we get played anywhere, just
Where's Rasputin from again? He's
Russia,
like Russian,
yeah.
right? Rasputin's listening from the grave.
from the grave.
But yeah, I hope this is something, guys. And Dan, you have the final word.
A frustrated cannibal throws up his arms.
God damn it.